The following production is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the 5th episode of Take That Depression. My name's Spencer, and this is my boy Kyler.
Happy morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever it is where you are.
How we feeling today, Kyler?
Really, really good. I'm excited to have another episode of you presenting and not me. That's always nice when I don't have to do quite as much work.
I also feel the same way, so I'm glad we're mutual on that.
How about you? How are you feeling?
Very, very good. Do you know why I'm feeling very, very good today?
I have a hunch, but...
Battlefield 6 release day!
That's what I thought it was.
I have been waiting for this day ever since the beta, and I am very, very excited. I know I said in the past that I'm trying to do other things but play video games. However, I do always find myself having a little time for video games, and this is a particular video game I am very excited about.
I really, really enjoy Battlefield, and we did a lot of the beta, so I can definitely see that. And I'm super stoked for release.
As you guys know, it's spooky month, so me and Kyler are going to have some recommendations for you on movie lists. Kyler, would you like to kick us off?
I would love that. I have a foreign film this week. It's in Spanish. It's called Terrified.
Not to confuse or be confused with Terrifier, ?
Correct. This movie is about paranormal research investigating strange events in a neighborhood in Buenos Aires. It hits all kind of the really creepy right notes. It's got jump scares. As long as you can follow along with subtitles, which I find particular difficulty with, it's a really, really good movie. And, again, me not being a great reader, the subtitles didn't really take away from everything. I'm always worried that I'm going to miss something on screen when I'm reading subtitles, but it didn't. I think it used subtitles as a device to kind of let your guard down, so highly, highly recommend Terrified. I watched it on Shudder. If you don't have Shudder, it's on AMC Plus, YouTube with a premium subscription, and some other places with add-ons. I hope you can find it. It's a little bit of a tricky find. Highly recommend it if you already have something that you can play it on. What movie do you have for us this week, Spencer?
First of all, your movie sounds really exciting, and I'm going to be honest, I might have to watch that after we're done here, because that actually sounds very interesting to me. I'm not very good with subtitle movies either, especially when I'm snacking. That's the worst time for me to watch it, but I am interested to see. I've never watched a foreign horror movie, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. My movie this week is, surprisingly, believe it or not a found footage.
Hey, we made it.
Probably the only one you're going to get. But my movie this week is called Barbarian, and it is very good. When I first watched it, the way it's described is not how it is, and that turned out to be very fantastic to me because it kind of leads you into something, one way of thinking, and then it's not that. There's a lot of twists and turns that are very fun. It's about a girl who's in town for a conference, and she rents an Airbnb, and turns out it's double booked by a mysterious man, and they decide to play it out and both rent it because they both need a place to stay, and things get wild from there.
Interesting. Where do you have a spot where we can find that?
I watched it on Hulu.
Okay.
But I believe you can rent it on Amazon Prime, YouTube, Google, Sling, allegedly Disney Plus, but I have a sneaking suspicion that's not accurate.
Well, they did the Disney Plus Hulu crossover.
Oh.
So things on Hulu you can watch on Disney. I don't know if it's backwards, so you can watch Disney Plus on Hulu, but they did do that kind of crossover thing. So there's some stuff on Disney Plus now that I wouldn't expect to be on Disney Plus.
I might have to look into that. As much as I'm a spooky boy, I also like my Disney. Moving on from spooky season recommendations, today's main topic is accountability, and I just want you to know how much accountability I showed today for my procrastination. I did not play any Battlefield.
Zero?
Zero Battlefield. I said I had to get my homework done first, and I stuck to it. Now, I'm sure everyone has heard the word accountability at least one time in their life, surely more. But what is accountability? Accountability is the willingness and obligation to accept responsibility for one's actions, decisions, and their consequences. It involves being answerable to oneself, others, or institutions, and often includes explaining or justifying those actions.
I love that definition. Big definition fan. However, I would, in my head, change consequences with outcomes, because I was talking to my wife before we started recording, and she and I both felt that accountability doesn't stop with the consequences of your actions. She and I talked, and there has been times that we both have done something correct, done something right, and someone comes up and is like, hey, thank you for doing that, or good job on that, and then we explain it away with, oh, well, this person helped me, or this person did stuff, where we weren't taking accountability of the good things that we did. And I think, just like everything that we've covered, there's two sides of the coin. You need to take accountability of the bad things, and you need to be here to take accountability for the good things. I'm really good at shirking the second one. When I goof up, when I make a mess of something, I'll be the first one to be like, hey, that was me. Help me fix it in the future. And then when someone's like, hey, good job on that, I'm like, well, I didn't do that much.
Yeah, I'm very much the same way, and it's actually really interesting to think of it from that standpoint. You don't, unless you're hearing it, you don't really think about it that way, and I'm a big one like that, where it's like, man, you did a really, really good job, and it's like, well, actually, it was this person, they did all this, and still not being like, well, I played a huge part in there, or anything like that, too, so.
Yeah, so in that definition, it's not the consequences of your actions, it's the outcomes of your decisions and actions I would change, is the only thing I would change with that definition.
Let's put in a vote to get that changed.
Yeah, all right, Merriam-Webster themselves.
Big dictionary. There's a lot of different types of accountability out there, ranging from personal accountability, keeping a promise to yourself, like goals or habits, professional accountability, meeting deadlines, owning up to mistakes at work, social, being reliable in relationships and communities, political and organized, transparency and responsibility and leadership. Accountability has been on my mind huge lately, so I felt like this was a good topic just for me to get off my chest.
Yeah. This podcast has put accountability on my mind. This is gonna sound silly, there is not many things that I've done for 5 straight weeks.
Yeah.
So to continue to keep doing this because of that social accountability to you and to the listeners, it's really kept me accountable to myself for that. So yeah, that's a big thing for me right now also.
I'm in that same boat. We've said it before. We're both the same, as it's easy to let ourselves down, but when you have someone else holding us accountable, it's so much harder to let them down. And this podcast really has probably been something that kept me the most accountable of things in my life, just straightforward, just week after week. And it's not, I don't want to say that like a chore, like it's been actually really great, and it's come to help me with other aspects of my life too, so I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, it's been a huge blessing to do this. It's been really, really fun.
When I say accountability has been on my mind heavy lately, it's a combination of work life, people around me, and even more so my own accountabilities, and keeping true to those. I had a situation the other day, and by other day I mean a few weeks ago. I was mowing the lawn, and I got grass clippings everywhere, all over the sidewalk, all over the steps to our place. And I told my fiance before I went to work, I was like, in the morning when I get home, I'm gonna clean up all that grass and sweep it off and all that. And she's like, oh, no big deal, whatever. And then I had a night at work and came home, and let me tell you, coming home at 6 a.m., I did not want to sweep up grass off the sidewalk or the steps or any of that. That is not something I wanted to do. And I almost blew past it and was like, whatever. She said it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But then I stopped and thought about it. And I was like, I could just ignore this. But I told her that this was something I was going to do. And even though it was something so insignificant, it was really important to me that I did it because it was something I said. I wanted to keep that accountability. And even though it's very small, it was important to me to know that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm actually going to do it. If I just ignored it and pushed it off to the side, what's stopping me from the next thing and the next thing? And then every time after that, it could be something bigger and bigger and bigger and create that pattern. And that's not something that I want to do. That's not a path I want to go down.
Yeah, it's little. We'd covered the make your bed speech a few episodes ago, and I feel like that wraps right up into this of the one little thing snowballing that can go both ways. It can be one good thing snowballing into more good things, and in that case it could potentially have been one thing, and then where does it stop? The precedent has been set that you can just not do this thing and it's okay. So I think it's good to get started off on easy things.
And then the bigger things just naturally come after that.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was not always a very good person. I did not take accountability for any of my actions. It's something I often reflect on. One of those keeps you up at night type deals, little things like that. And have you heard of the show Bojack Horseman?
I have heard of it. I've not watched any of it.
So overall, it's a comedy. However, it is also not a comedy. It is deep underlining, like, real life situations. There's a snippet in that show that I wanted to talk about. I'm very much going to post it in the links below. And I very highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys give it a listen.
Pod, I'm sorry, all right? I screwed up. I know I screwed up. I don't know why.
Of course. Here it comes. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing shitty things and then feel bad about yourself like that makes it okay. You need to be better.
I know, and I'm sorry, okay? I was drunk, and there was all this pressure with the Oscar campaign. But now that it's over,
No, Bojack, just stop. You are all the things that are wrong with you. It's not the alcohol or the drugs or any of the shitty things that happened to you in your career or when you were a kid. It's you. All right? It's you.
fuck, man. What else is there to say?
When I seen it, it hit me pretty hard. It made me, at first when I heard it, I just kind of rubbed it off, but I couldn't stop thinking about it for days after. And it made me reflect on my choices I've made and all the non-accountability that I was doing. And it's silly to think that like a cartoon was like, why not just be a good person? Why not just be accountable? Because you don't always see it that way. They say hindsight's 20/20. But it had an impact, a big impact on my life, seeing that character in that way and hearing those words. And it helped me look back on all the situations that I was mad at, where I was like, oh, it's someone else's fault, it's their fault, how could they do this, that kind of thing. And now from that perspective, it's, well, I did this, and this, and I was shitty in this kind of way. So it really helped me take accountability of the things in my life. And once I started taking accountability for my own actions, like, the world opened up. I could see everything clear, just a weight off my chest.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody has that person in their life that they know that just does that well into adulthood. That's just, it's always somebody else's problem or someone else's mistake. And what a thing that you can provide them, if anything, if they could intake anything and learn, is just that accountability. When you start realizing that you are part of a problem or part of a solution in the inverse, you can really expand your horizons and delve into what needs to change or what needs to stay the same or what you need more of to get even better or to get better.
I wanted to start this off talking about my own accountabilities. I've made mistakes just like anybody else, and I want to own up to those. But lately I've been dealing with people in my life who also don't, like you said, don't take accountability way into their adults, and sometimes it's almost suffocating. It's, do something shitty. I'm sorry, that's the old me. Do the exact same thing. That's the old me. Do the other thing. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the old me. Sometimes sorry isn't good enough. Sometimes you just need to be better. And those words have and will always stick with me.
I agree. There's something that I read somewhere one time, and I really try and live by it as much as I can. You can say sorry for something one time, and then every time after that it's a choice. That hit me hard when I figured that out. I was at a point in my life where I was saying sorry for the same things a lot, and that drove me to try and be better, because every time after you did a bad thing, and you know that it's a bad thing, every time after the first time it's a choice. And that's true for neurotypical things. There are edge cases where that's not entirely true. I understand that. I realize that. For me, it was impactful, that statement, and I wanted to fit that in here.
Everybody's human. I'm going to talk about accountability, and then tomorrow there's probably going to be something where I'm like, well, that's not my fault because whatever. It's human nature, and I'm not telling anybody, be perfect, do all this, because again, made my own mistakes. We're all human. It's a learning process, but it is something that it's achievable to do, and it's definitely something to learn. It's a learned skill to practice. I'll always encourage people, if you feel that you are the kind of person who kind of goes through the slump and are like, it's not my fault, it's all because of this, I would do better if it wasn't for this, or I only messed up because I was drinking or I was doing drugs, so that's not my fault. I recommend, if you are that person, just think about it a little bit. Watch that clip that I'm going to tag from Bojack Horseman and just let it sink in a little bit.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's not a magical switch you can flip. It's definitely something you need to work at. Start with little things, snowball it into bigger things. It's not just, oh, I'm going to take accountability for everything now. It's hard to do, and I don't think that's possible for the most accountable people to take accountability for everything that they do. Take that with a grain of salt, but again, take it in, try and grow that skill a little bit. I think that you can just get better if you realize more of what's going on instead of pushing it off on somebody else always.
Another type of accountability that has kind of been weighing on me, it is personal accountability, but my personal accountability at work. I want to be someone that I know people can count on. I want to be able to say, hey, I'll be right back, I got to do this, and then I'll come help you. And they say, okay, well, he's gone forever, bye. He's not coming back. And that's a slippery slope. When you can see that you're letting people down, that hurts. That hurts a lot. And I feel like that's why accountability is so big to me, is again, it's not just letting me down. I'll do it for free every single day, but letting the people around me that sticks with you.
Yes. I had a job at work last night or 2 nights ago that I came out, I was looking over a problem that somebody was having, and I came to a pretty good solution of what I thought was going on, but I didn't 100% know exactly what was going on. So I had marked a piece of machinery to see if it was moving at all or draining at all. that was a backup solution. That may have been it, probably wasn't it. But I wanted to come back and make sure that that mark was still in the same spot to make sure that that wasn't it. If that got ruled out, then it was very highly likely that the first thing that I thought of was going to be the issue and that it was fine. But I had forgot. And I was leaving work that morning and I was like, man, I never went back and looked at that. And that person who I was working on their machine was probably like, this guy just abandoned me. And that was really hard for me to just like leave at work and go home. But I wasn't going to turn around and whatever for probable nothing. But that's one of those, take accountability, be better. Next time, write down in a notebook, set an alarm on my phone, something like that to go back and check and make sure that they know that I can be trusted when I say I'm going to do something.
I also had a work scenario too where it actually got the ball rolling too for this whole accountability thing. Was a situation that happened at work. I had a guy at my shift approach me and we were talking about the low morale we were having on our shift, and it was apparent to him and has been very apparent to me. I did not have the best attitude at the time, and he was talking about different ways that we can approach things and kind of build up morale, and he gave me some examples from his past on things that could help, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of wrote it off. I was not having a good attitude, and it showed, and I kept thinking about what he was saying, and even though I didn't believe it, I'm like, whatever, dude, like, that's for the birds, that's not how it is. I ended up giving it a try, changing my attitude, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, he was right. He was absolutely right. I changed my attitude, I started checking in with people, I started making myself more available to help my team, and there was an immediate change. People were talking about all the members of the leadership team, like being there for people, being more supportive and all that, checking in, talking, and how much the attitudes flipped versus those first 2 days versus the second half when we flipped it around. And people were making comments to me and other people like, everyone's in a good mood, we're happy. And so that really got me thinking, like, I need to take more accountability on even not just the actions I take, but even the
vibes you're putting out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe in that sort of thing. I'm a big vibes guy. If you're putting out bad vibes,
I do believe in that thing. I believe in that hugely. And I was putting out bad vibes, and it was my own personal reasons, and I feel bad because I'm going through the big sad, if you will. It wasn't right of me to put that on the operators and my teammates and anything, but I really feel bad about him coming to me and telling me this and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever, like, and then finding out he was right and it was my bad vibrations, like, being a little wonky. So there's accountability for your actions, but also accountability for your emotions and the vibrations you put out.
yeah.
If you're having a bad day, you don't, someone comes up to you, don't be like, screw off. And then whatever, it'd be like, oh, how's it going? Yeah, I'll be there in a minute, that kind of thing. So I want to be not just accountable for my actions. Yes, I'll be there to help you and actually be there to help you, but also not to keep that face, to keep that,
Yeah. I think just like you can put out bad vibes, you can put out good vibes too. And that I try and do that every day. Make one person's day better every day. I just try and emanate good vibes as much as I can because, man, there ain't no... In this short time that we have on this planet, I have 0 seconds to spend mad. That does not get me anywhere. We need to be in a good mood all the time. I can't spend any of this precious resource we call time being mad.
For those of you that don't know, we've mentioned it before, me and Kyler work together, and what an absolute treat it has been. He is, I would honestly, this is going to be cheesy, but I would call him a mentor in positive attitude. He keeps me so grounded when I come in a little extra spicy, but he definitely keeps me grounded, and he's right. Everything he says is it's not worth it. It's not worth it to be mad. It's not worth it to get that grumpy over just the littlest things. And that's something I practice every day. I try to, every day it takes a little practice, but every day I get closer and closer to being a little more zen, a little more grounded, and work on my spiciness.
Especially at work, I love to say they don't pay me enough to get mad, and they don't. Whatever peanuts you're making at your job, even if you're making 6 figures, that is not enough money for you to get mad, man. Not enough.
I think those are some wise words to leave off of. And with that being said, I think it's about time we move on to skill check. Today for my skill check, believe it or not, is actually leading into next week's skill check. What I'm going to do for next week's skill check is learn perler beads. For those of you that don't know, they're little plastic beads, and you make like pixel art out of them. You can do anything, but a lot of people do like video game characters, anime characters, all sorts of cool little stuff like that. And they got like little grids. You make it look like it's like something out of a Super Nintendo, all pixely. Looks super fun. The reason I don't have that this week is because there is a lot of information. Me and Kyler are big on that. We like to make sure that we can give you the information, and not just information for you to look up, but how we've learned it, things that helped us specifically. Got him. And so I'm going to do some research with my schedule. It's 4 on, 4 off, so that's going to give me ample time to research that. Between that and Battlefield, I'm feeling very lazy today, or this week. So I'm going to be doing a lot of research on that. Give you a little spoiler into that. And I also want to buy the product. I want to be doing it. I'm very excited about it because I call it a little cozy craft. Winter's coming up. I don't leave the house. I want to get a nice cup of hot chocolate, a nice blanket, and I want to play around with my little beads and make some little cool characters.
Yep. I'm excited to hear about that. I remember at daycare when I was a kid or something like that, we did that, and then having the daycare lady do like the iron so they all melt together or whatever, and then getting to take that home. That thing that you made home was such a fun little thing.
I did this.
So to see and I made some tiny little whatever thing, but to see what you can do as an adult, make more complex things, video game characters like you were saying, that would be so cool. So I'm really excited to hear about that next week.
I'll take some inspiration as well too, for people that I've seen. There's a girl on Facebook, I'll have to get her name on there too. She's got a really cool Instagram and Etsy where she makes the craziest stuff. Like how I'm describing it, you're probably thinking like just a little guy, but she's making like 6x6 like 3D things, and it's pretty incredible stuff. So
I definitely look forward to seeing that. This week for my skill check, I was looking into how to grow the podcast audience. That's, I think, an important skill to have if you're doing a podcast. It just makes sense if you want your podcast listened to by more people, is how exactly to grow an audience. And I have one link for you. It's the Spotify for Creators link of how to grow an audience. In there, there's a wealth of knowledge. However, it is mostly questions, and I can look at myself and ask myself those questions. However, those questions are about you guys, about the audience. And I can make assumptions and guesses and all that till the cows come home. And you all know what they say about assumptions. So why not just go to the source Spencer and I have talked a lot about it. We don't know where we're at with it. Would you guys prefer if we had video, if we had some kind of visual to go along with this podcast? Would that make it more enjoyable for you? That's the first question. You can comment anywhere where you're seeing this. If you can do that to answer these questions, you can send us an email at takethatdepressionpod@gmail.com. That'll be in the description. But would a visual help you guys out? And to carry along with that, where do you guys hang out as far as social media goes? We have the Facebook page right now. We know that's not enough. I was talking to my wife earlier today, and to quote her, she says that Facebook is for the olds. And I agree. That's something that Spencer and I kind of grew up on. MySpace very swiftly switched to Facebook for me, and that's where I've been. I'm not a social media guy. I know that like Instagram and X and TikTok is all out there, but I don't hang out on any of them. So if you guys are hanging out there and you want to see us there but you don't, again, please let us know, and we'll make strides to get our content there, whatever that looks like. For Instagram, if we need to take pictures of Spencer and I hanging out together, if we need to take pictures of what we're researching, if we need to take pictures of me when I'm doing the editing, stuff like that, then we can do that. We can make it work on Instagram. We just need to know where you guys are hanging out so we know where to focus our energy. Again, please let us know that. But those are the big things, and knowing exactly what you guys want. If we are talking about our week at the beginning of the episode and you guys are like, cool, let's get to learning about accountability, tell us that. We can't grow with you if we don't know that we're doing the wrong thing. If there's something you want to see more of, less of, let us know. I'm here for constructive criticism. I'm here for beratement if you need that. I'm here, man. If you want to just yell at somebody, hit the email. I'll message you back with some good vibes. But please, just let us know anywhere that you can comment. Anything that you think that we're doing well, let us know so we can put more energy in that. Anything that you think we can do better, let us know so we can switch up. And anything you don't want to see, less work for us. Awesome. Love to see it. Let us know.
That's the whole vibe we're doing here, is we're growing and we want you to grow with us.
We want to grow with you. If you guys change over time and suddenly skill check isn't hitting your vibe anymore, let us know. And we will shift away from skill check if we need to, if that's what the audience wants. We're here for you guys. Without you, we're just two old guys talking into a microphone.
And what a dream it's been.
It would be fun, but not quite as fun as sharing this with you guys, the listeners. So again, let us know. That's my skill check. I will link that. If there's anything that I missed in there that it covers and that you want us to do, or do you think that whatever, Facebook page, email, comment where you're finding the podcast, anything like that, let us know. I'll link that below. The Grow Your Audience, your podcast audience with Spotify for Creators. And we really look forward to hearing from you guys. Hope to hear from you guys. And I think that is it for my skill check.
I think that about does it for me as well. I just want to quickly comment on Spotify for Creators real quick. What you have shown me is really cool, getting to see all the stats and the behind the scenes. It's been very fun and interesting to see that, so I do highly recommend you guys check that out as well.
I'm an analytics guy. We started the Facebook page and I didn't know how many analytics they show you. Same with Spotify for Creators. I'll just be on my phone at home, just like scrolling our analytics and seeing where everybody's listening from, age ranges, stuff like that. And it's so cool how many people have seen the podcast, seen the thumbnail for the podcast, the image. You guys know it, the half face, frowny smile. To how many people have clicked on the podcast and actually looked at the page where it shows all of our episodes under description. to how many people have actually played an episode. And that's a very fun, it's right now a little bit disheartening. Hopefully we get better. But it's a very fun like conversion rate that you get to see at each step of the thing. 300 people, random numbers. 300 people have seen the podcast. 50 people have clicked on the podcast. 20 people have watched an episode. It's so cool to be like, okay, what do I need? If people are seeing the podcast but not clicking on it, then now I need to make a more interesting thumbnail or change up how it's seen when you see it or something like that. And if people are clicking on our podcast but not watching episodes, then I need to change up the description to make it sound more enticing or come up with more fun episode names or make the description of the episodes better. It's really cool to see that whole process in motion. And I'm an analytics man. I really love to see that.
You said it's a little disheartening to see those numbers, but it's really cool to see them go up. If every day we check it and it's today's 1, today's 2, and it's always going up, which I think is cool. It's starting small, but who knows where we're going to be down the road. We could have hundreds.
Yep.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, very fun to be a part of. Before we move on to the end of the episode, I wanted to give a big shout out to Justin on the Facebook page for holding me accountable of the typing results from last episode. I forgot to do it, and then the day the episode dropped was our first night of work, and then time just got away from me. So thank you to Justin holding me accountable. We got those out a little bit late. I want to apologize for that. That was not my intention. And we're here, and you can see exactly how bad I am at typing. Yay for all. Then I want to say thank you guys. If you feel like we've deserved it, like us anywhere that you can find the podcast. Comment anywhere you can find the podcast. Interact on the Facebook page. Let us know, again, where you want to see us, where we need to be. We have plans to move over to TikTok at some point. We're figuring out exactly what that means. But tell us where you want to see us so we can reach you better, reach more people better. Let us know. Share. Again, anybody that might like the podcast, let them know that we're out there. We want to reach as many people. We want to put the good vibes out there to as many people as we can. And don't forget, you can always send us an email at takethatdepressionpod@gmail.com with any questions. We have an off episode coming up again. If you have any weird or wonky questions or questions you want to know about us, fire those off to the email, fire those off and reply to this episode on the Facebook page. Send us a message on the Facebook page with any questions that you may want us to answer. Feel free to do that.
I love what we do every week, but I'm excited to see what a wonky episode looks like, because it's going to be quite the mystery to all of us until it happens.
Yeah, it's definitely flying by the seat of your pants there. It's going to be interesting. I hope that we get some questions from you guys. I think our questions will be less meaningful than answering stuff that you want us to answer. It'll still be a fun episode. I have no doubt in my mind. I think we'll still find some fun hypotheticals or whatever, and I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I think it would be better if you guys had a part in creating that episode. So again, email, Facebook, anywhere that you can comment, shoot us a comment, and we'll get that on the roster of questions for that episode.
Before we wrap things up here, I wanted to give you guys a challenge. And the challenge is, think of one area in your life where you think you can show more accountability this week. And with that,
stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please, please, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.